Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Quarantine balloons. So the IMAs have some questions for us, which I will mediate. Let's start with number 1. Describe the moment you first learned you were nominated for an IMA. Who did you tell first? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So I first found out from getting a text from you, Brittany, and we were just about to sit down for dinner. So I saw your message on my phone, and the first person I told was my husband, who was sitting right beside me. And it was really nice news because it was in like the first week of COVID-19 quarantine. And so that was just really consuming my thoughts like every day, and the news was changing every day. And then it was so nice to get different news and to be reminded that like
We were a band once.
I'm so sorry, guys.
What?
Freezing up.
Oh.
Anyways, yeah, so that's how I first found out, and I told Doogie, and it was just really exciting.
Nice.
I also found out from Brittany. So I think I saw an email that was like the nominations, and I just like didn't even look at it because it wasn't the like congratulations email. It was the other email, like just kind of to everybody or something. And so I was just like, oh, I guess we didn't get that, and like moved on. And then Brittany texted us, and I was like, wait, I saw that email. And like we went back to the email, and yeah, but it was while I was cooking dinner, so it was like it didn't really sink in, and it wasn't until later that night where we a group of friends of ours, including these two ladies, were doing like a pub trivia night, and I think it was like after the trivia part was done, we were all just like hanging out on Zoom, that I then was like, oh, by the way, like Lunar Bloom was nominated. So and like I don't think either of you were on the call anymore, but I was like, this is my chance to share good news. And it was, yeah, it was, I still feel like it's still kind of hitting me, like it doesn't feel that real.
Mm-hmm. So obviously I was the first one to find out. We shared email, which I almost never check because I'm so busy all the time, but I've had all this free time lately. Yeah, I shared it with Jocelyn and Kelly first, and then I kind of just let it sit inside me for a little bit, kind of sink in, because we spend so much time promoting ourselves and pushing for things, and it kind of felt surreal that we were nominated. So it was nice to just keep it to myself for a little bit, but then eventually I did share it with my partner Grant, who is our unofficial official photographer, and he thinks he's our number 1 fan.
Yeah, Doogie thinks he's our number 1 fan too.
I don't think Alex thinks he's the number 1 fan anymore. He has to listen to all our rehearsals, so he kind of is like forced into being the number 1 fan.
Okay, next question. What does this nomination mean to you as an artist and for your career?
Well, it feels really validating as in terms of being an artist and the music that we make together. This was our first project, and we're relatively new. We're a few years into collaborating together, and I feel like we really did like we really put a lot into creating our first EP, and we, completely funded it ourselves. So it's really, I mean, I think it's really special. I love listening to it. And obviously was really proud when it came out. So it's really validating to see that other people also like it and think that it's good. Like, it's really encouraging.
Yeah, same thing, right? Like I think whenever you do like a piece of work, if I mean, you do it for yourself, but it always is so nice when other people say that it's good and that it's like worth something. And especially because it's so much, it's you're putting yourself into it. So it's like, getting nominated is like kind of like you're a worthy person. Not that all of my self-worth is based on awards, but I think as in terms of our career, the thing that is really exciting is like to be validated this early on, like with our first real project that we've put out, could really propel things in a different way, and it helps to be able to like just continue to grow our bio and our resume, and to be like, we were nominated for this thing, and like we played at this place, it all like, it helps to get you in the door. So it's actually, it could be really, really important. But it's hard to know how it will play a factor at this point, at least.
Yeah, it's really nice to be acknowledged for all our efforts. We've spent so many rehearsals, hours on harmonies that are maybe a minute long. So it's really nice, to be validated and to actually be able to share that with people, because it felt early on that we had something really special. Mm-hmm. And I was so desperate to share it with people because I was so proud, and I knew it would maybe resonate with others. So it was really nice. But also as a nomination, as an independent artist who's newer in the scene, things like nominations and awards open doors for things like grant funding and festivals and stuff like that, and collaborating with other artists. So I'm really looking forward to those opportunities. Mm-hmm. Next question.
Yeah.
Describe your work in 5 words. So why don't we each do 2? Then they can have 6.
We're going to do 6 words.
Okay, I'll go first. Collaborative and cathartic.
I thought of feminine and vulnerability.
I thought of witchy and ethereal.
I think we got the trifecta of whatever I'm trying to say. Hey, next.
Lunar Bloom trifecta.
Lunar Bloom trifecta. How does being an independent artist influence your work? Creatively, is it more liberating or challenging?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this a lot as a band, is that idea of like or versus and so when I read this question, I was like, it's not more challenging creatively or not more challenging. It's like it is challenging, and it's also better in some ways, right? It's like it's all of those things. And so I think creatively it's freeing because we haven't had kind of any outside influence while we've been in our incubation development stage and growing our sound and what this band is to us. And I think that has allowed for a lot of freedom and inspiration.
And it gave us the chance to explore, to like try things out and really decide for ourselves what direction to take things in, rather than trying to fit a mold or have an idea of what someone is looking for or have that pressure. So it does feel really authentic, and it feels like we all have an equal stake, and we're all like really invested in what we've created together.
Yeah, yes. And also like take our time in some ways, like, because when we first started, we were just like, let's meet once a week and see what happens. And so if someone kind of intercepted at that point, we'd probably be in an entirely different band, or maybe we wouldn't, I don't know, but it's nice that we kind of got to discover it independently. And then even just things like, I think about the recording process where we had David Stein, and he was like amazing, and really, really gentle, and like really got us in terms of what we wanted, but we also didn't have that much experience. And so I could imagine if we were in a different scenario where we had a lot of different opinions of what we should be doing and what was going to sell, or what was, et cetera, et cetera, we would have been much more easily influenced because of that lack of experience with the producing side of music. So I think like in those ways, yes, it has been really, really amazing. But then the downside is like not having a clear path, like, and sometimes being self-directed is just really exhausting, and you're like, oh man, I wish like someone else could answer those emails, or like or be applying for that funding, or applying for those festivals. It takes a lot of energy, and that energy can't then go towards creation. So there's definitely a balancing act.
Yeah, I really appreciate that we took the time to really establish a sense of self as a group, and to really get into the rhythms of how we work together vocally, emotionally, mentally. It's a very supportive environment, very open, because we are dealing with topics like vulnerability and stuff. And so I think if we had a third party come in, all of our songs come from a really personal place. I feel like I would have my shackles up if someone were to kind of critique or say, well, this lyric, should kind of maybe change. I think I would be less into that. That being said, when we're recording a full album, it would be nice to fill it out a little bit with instruments that maybe we're not used to playing, like clapping and singing at the same time, egg shakers, because we're so into what we do well that it would be nice to have an outside view to see how to heighten it and to layer it a little bit more, but still have it sound like us. Yeah, which will be nice.
Yeah, and I definitely think we're in that place where it's like the foundation's really set. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot easier to now kind of have that outside point of view because we know what the core of what we're doing is, and so then you can kind of take it,
right? Yeah. We're more familiar with how to ask for what we want because we didn't know that before. We weren't able to orally say what we wanted because we didn't know how to say it.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of like, no, like kind of more like hysteric, or I don't know.
Yeah, so great. Anything else for that question?
No.
Oh,
nope. Well, no, I was just sort of thinking about how it reminds me a bit of hearing someone talk about like women today can have it all because you can have a career and you can also, raise a family. And there's this, I think it was in a movie and I don't remember what movie it was in, but someone was saying how like, if like you can have it all, but then that means that you have to do it all. And that's a lot of work to like be having a full career and also raising a family. And I feel like we're kind of like, we're in that position where we have the freedom to do whatever we want and they like, which is really amazing. But then that also means that we have to do all of the work. Like we develop all the music and do all of that creative content, but then also we have to be like applying for everything and answering all the emails and like trying to figure out what our goals are and do business planning. And that definitely came later. When we started, we were more music focused and much more casual about it. And then at a certain point,
sorry, can you hear my cat in the background?
No.
Okay, guys, he's just like,
Cooper, I'm talking.
I know, I'm like, excuse me, Cooper, Jocelyn is continue.
Yeah, well, yeah, just how like I feel like over the past 3 years, the first year and a half, we're really all like very music focused, and then about a year and a half in, we realized that we should maybe have Instagram and have a website and start having an online presence, and that was a huge learning curve. So it's been a challenge in that sense of having to figure that all out ourselves and do it. And I feel like we get better. We're continuously learning more about how to do that and how to get better.
I'm so grateful that there's 3 of us.
God, I know.
So that we can divide up the work. Otherwise,
being by ourselves be the worst.
Yeah.
It wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last question. In your opinion, what is the most underrated album or song of all time?
Oh, I find this a really challenging question because I love so much music and it's hard to know like what's well known and what's underrated. The first thing that came to my mind though is Will He Be Waiting For Me, the song, which was originally written by Dolly Parton, who is, I don't think you would say Dolly Parton is underrated. She's pretty fabulous and everyone knows. But that song, I feel like, isn't as well known as the other big hits. And the first version actually that I ever heard, and my favorite version of that song is the Sarah Harmer cover, which I heard and just fell in love with and absolutely love that song and didn't know it was written by Dolly Parton for quite a while. So that's sort of one of my favorite songs.
Mm-hmm. Kel?
Oh God, yeah. I also found this question really challenging because I feel like my ability to discern what is underrated or popular, or like I have no idea. I'm so disconnected from like what other people know or listen to. It's like such a personal thing. But under some discussion, I'm gonna suggest the song Now I Love Someone by Holly Throsby, who's I think an Australian artist who I actually discovered in the days of MySpace. Yes, like way back. And the way I discovered her was I would go to other artists that I liked and I would see who they were friends with, like who their top listed friends were. And I go to their profile and I would like profile hop. And so I stumbled upon her like down the chain, right? Because they kind of get like less and less well known. And her first album that I listened to, I think was called Team. And it was like, I just really liked it. It was really like intricate. There was lots of layering, which is kind of interesting now with what we do. I feel like she was creating that more in a, like by herself, but we kind of create that same type of effect with the different voices instead of doubling them up. But yeah, the song Now I Love Someone was a song that these two lovely ladies sang at my wedding. And I think it's a beautiful song. And I was like really struggling to find something, like to find music that wasn't super overdone for my wedding. And I was like, oh God, this song's perfect. And the lyrics are beautiful. And they're so beautiful in terms of like, you know, a love story. I think they're really, really, and like vow making. Anyways, that was a whole little ramble. But yeah, so that's I feel like she's underrated. She's really amazing.
Yeah, I'd never heard that song before you asked us to sing it at your wedding. And
I enjoyed singing it a lot.
Yeah. And your wedding was fun too. So.
Your wedding was super fun.
Yeah. We also did some like original tunes.
Okay, my turn. Okay, I came to music later in my adolescence, like mid-teens. So I hadn't really done a lot of exploring until then. But I went to Blues Fest when I was in high school in Ottawa, and I happened to see, I was going to see Wilco at the time, but Martin Sexton was playing beforehand. And he just blew me away. It was just him on a stage and a guitar. And he had such a full sound and energy. He was super captivating. And I had never really heard music so fulfilling and soulful before. And his music influenced me to be a singer-songwriter, to learn how to tell my stories from a personal place, and that there actually is a space for that in the industry. So thank you, Martin Sexton, Black Sheep album. Love it. Okay, that's all the questions.
We did it!
Did we tell people who we are, though?
Oh, I don't know.
We do this every time we have a show. We forget to introduce ourselves.
Also, I'm pretty sure if you can see the names, my name is not correct on this.
Oh, mine is.
Yeah. I'm Alex Finnis. I am my husband. Okay, so hey peeps. I'm Kelly McNamee. I'm 1/3 of Lunar Bloom. That's my intro.
I'm Robinson. I am the 2nd third of Lunar Bloom.
I guess that makes me the third. I'm Jocelyn in Lunar Bloom.
Okay,
we together are Lunar Bloom. Sorry.
We're going to end the meeting like we end all of our videos on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Always end it with a kiss.